whatever day you're listening this fine day. Welcome to Basics and Banter. I'm one of your co-hosts, Halo, joined by my also unhinged bestie.
I'm Sam.
Hey Sam.
You sounded like Frosty the Snowman when he comes to life. He says, "Happy birthday." That's what we're giving today.
Look, it was an incredible weekend. There's just so much to get to and to
Yet
dive
again.
in
Yet again.
to. Not
Yeah.
only was college softball absolutely popping off, we
Well,
named the women's national team
we did
this
that.
week, which we'll dive into.
Yep.
And we're getting pretty close to being set on some conference tournaments that are coming up.
It's almost
So
time.
'tis the season to be jolly, if you will.
Yeah. Jolly.
Jolly.
Jolly and unhinged.
Jolly and unhinged. Speaking of unhinged, I think we should start with Oklahoma because they were a little unhinged this weekend.
I
It
mean,
looked like they were gonna get a couple run rules. Texas comes back. They don't get the run rules, but they still get the sweep. I I feel bad saying I'm surprised that Oklahoma swept Texas. Like, I
it's
shouldn't be surprised that Oklahoma sweeps anybody,
no.
but I was honestly surprised to see a sweep.
We just talked last week about nobody's sweeping. And then
Yeah.
Oklahoma said,
Hold my Diet Coke.
"Hold my Diet Coke." Here
Yeah.
we brought out the brooms. And you know what? Like, you know that they're a little extra fired up going in against Texas. Like, you like that. And you know what? Maybe that's what it takes is like, hey, remember how we felt against Texas? Let's play like that every series.
Look, it looked like a completely different team from a team that like lost a series at Alabama to then
hmm
sweep Mississippi State
hmm
to then sweep I mean,
Texas.
Texas.
I
That's
know.
a team that I like if we go talent for talent,
Yeah.
right? And college experience for college experience, Texas has the better roster. You can't tell me
hmm
that they don't.
They're
But
strong and
there's
they're deep.
something about Coach Gasso,
Yeah, and
the queen.
we've talked about Texas and their pitching staff being so strong and so deep, and Oklahoma came in and scored 23 runs in 3 games. That is a little worrisome, don't you think? Wow,
Wow.
mom.
Wow, mom is right.
Wow.
Um, in particular, I think they were greatly prepared for Tegan Kavan
They were. They were.
in a way that I don't think anyone else has been or can be.
We haven't seen
Her
that this
ERA,
season.
no, not at all. And Tegan Kavan's ERA for that series was 22.62.
That's like my ERA.
Right. Like 22.62
Yeah,
against
that's
one
rough.
of the literally one of the
One of
best
the
pitchers in
best.
the country
Yeah.
up until this point.
Yeah.
Uh, I think that's what separates Oklahoma from a lot of different teams is they are so insanely prepared.
They
They
are.
stick to their game plan, they execute. Now Texas adjusted well. They didn't start off great, but it was just unfortunately too little too late when you get two bad starts from
Yeah.
Kavan.
Yeah, and no, like, no shame to their performance. They scored 16 runs in 3 games.
Right, which has been more than enough for their pitching
Ex
staff.
exactly, exactly, like, they just found this weekend that the offense and the defense were on different pages, and Oklahoma was I mean, their last game, they won 9-8, like, they obviously their offense was there when their maybe pitching wasn't, like, they figured it
Yep.
out.
Yep.
I just thought it was so funny. We literally were just talking about there really hasn't been a lot of sweeps, like, really not we're not seeing it, and then
The Sooner Magic. It always happens this time of year, doesn't it,
Yeah,
with Oklahoma? It's like,
yeah.
"Oh my gosh, they lost. Oh my gosh, they lost," like in,
No.
February, March, and then once late April rolls around, they piece it together, they figure it
They're
out,
fine.
and they're fine. They're
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
16 straight 16 straight home wins against Texas. Ow.
that they are not
In a
hooking
sport
anything.
where there's like a series,
Right.
you know, like
Right.
ow.
It's not, yeah, right. It's not just one game. Like it's three.
Yeah. It's not easy. Did you see the meme that was like I don't know if
Probably.
it was like evil Patty Gasso or something,
Oh my gosh.
but it was
I
like
saw something on the internet.
it was a knock knock joke. Are you thinking of what I'm thinking of? Are you
Look, but I remember seeing it. What
okay?
was
Knock
it?
knock. It's Patty Gasso is telling the joke.
Mike,
Knock knock.
to Mike White, right?
Correct.
Okay, who's there?
Owen.
Yeah, Owen.
Owen 3. You people on the internet are so creative. We did not come up with that joke. Don't clip that and say that we're spreading that.
We're not.
It was funny. It's not
We're
our
just
fault.
supporting it, to be honest. It's just funny.
Look,
I don't care who you are.
keep using creative genius, you people out
Um,
there.
Speaking of the preparedness, and just I think this is a good transition to talk about the national team, and
Oh yeah.
having Patty Gasso at the helm. Like we just named we we didn't,
Sam and I
but
personally selected.
yeah, personally, we named the team. And just if you haven't seen it, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna read the list off to you guys of who is gonna be representing USA softball this summer. Maya Brady, Ali Carta, Jada Coleman, Megan Faramo, Hannah Flippin, Rachel Garcia, Savannah Jakewish, Janae Jefferson, Tiare Jennings, Amanda Lorenz, Kelly Maxwell, Deja Mulipola, Bubba Nichols, Skylar Wallace, Jesse Warren, with our three alternates being Kinsey Hansen, Lexi Kilfoyle, Aubrey Leach. Bada bing, bada boom. That's our team.
Holy macaroons.
Jeez, Lou.
We need a I'll ask our statistician in the back that doesn't exist, but like we need the number of how many All-Americans like combined.
Seems like a lot.
Everyone is there's multiple 4 times, there's multiple 3 times, there's multiple 2 times. Are there even any one-timers? Probably not. Everyone's a multi-timer.
It don't look like.
Yeah. That I think loaded's probably a fair word.
Good word. Good word. Loaded, yes. Loaded,
Just
yes.
loaded. I'm
Yeah.
really interested to see what the coaching style ends up being with Coach Gasso and being her
Yeah.
first year. Not her first experience internationally, but first year like really at the helm.
Yeah.
Want to play
Yeah.
in China?
Yeah.
Cool.
They're going there.
Cool.
Soup's cool.
Good vet mix. You got Flip in there, you got Lorenz in there.
Even Deja, like
Deja, I
it's
mean,
Ali Carta. Ali Carta, this is her
yeah,
10th
Ali
year.
Carta, duh.
This is this is her 10th year with USA softball.
What a freaking icon.
Yeah.
I love her so
So
much.
as an infielder, my first thought is I'm very curious to see what this infield looks like because you've got four middles in Tiare, Janae, Flip, and Skylar. You've got Jesse as a traditional third baseman. First base is wide open.
Yeah. And
So
first base has it, and since our dear friend Valerie Arioto decided to retire after the Olympics, I feel like that first base position has been, Rachel spent a lot of time over there when she's not pitching. Does Rachel want to pitch like full time? Like, how is Coach
mhm,
Gasso going to
mhm.
utilize her? Because with a roster of only 15, again, that utility factor plays such a
It's
huge
huge.
role.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Rachel
Yeah.
also just hits freaking nicks.
She's so
So,
scary with the nukes.
she's so scary with the
And
nukes.
you've got Savannah Jakewish, who not only is great behind the plate, is a very hot corner on both sides.
Very
She
hot
can play
corner.
both.
She can
Um,
catch, she can play the corners, and she could even play some outfield too
if you need her to.
yeah, if you need her
Yeah.
to. She's that athletic.
Yeah, I
And
think this.
Coach Gasso is going to have like everyone placed perfectly too.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
I'm super interested to see, and also just how the lineup takes form. Like
right.
I just
Well, I don't know if you know,
not a bad problem to have
not a
because you
bad
have
problem.
so many.
And I don't know if you know, but that leadoff spot, there's a vacancy, because someone, left their
Yeah,
cleats on the field.
yeah, I did do
So
that.
that was all you.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was me. That's my fault. I'll wear that.
Well, it
But
is you.
you have plenty of options. So
You
many
got
good
option.
options.
Like, yeah,
I don't know.
I could see that leadoff spot going so many different ways because you have somebody like Amanda Lorenz who In
breaks.
in classic softball, not your traditional leadoff hitter, but is a leadoff hitter. Like her in the
Yes.
leadoff spot is not fun for anyone.
No, it's
Um,
scary. It's almost an automatic double.
right. Yeah. So she's gonna be on base. It's just a matter of if it's on first or second. Or if
Yes.
there's a run on the board because she hit a home run.
Yes. And two, like with your typical power hitters, right? Like they love their swing so much that they tend to swing too much. Amanda doesn't do that. Amanda has a very
Yeah.
incredible eye at the plate, even internationally where the zone is literally like it's pretty much dugout to dugout. Let's be real. So she's still got a great eye and can walk.
It's
So
yeah. No, when she
that's
said that's a ball, when she says, "Hey, that's a ball," the umpire's like,
you're right.
"That is a ball."
You're right.
So yeah, I'm really excited. I know we've all been kind of antsy waiting to see this roster out, and I just think it's cool to see it form, like think about, let's see, so it's 2025, so it's 3 years before the Olympics. So think about the 2017 roster. If you guys would have played in 2020, it's like starting to see bits and pieces being solidified, and then how
Hmm.
I just I'm it makes me even more excited to see what's to come for 2028.
Yeah, it's a big wide funnel, and then it gradually gets, smaller and smaller as we head towards Oklahoma City 2028, which is
That's
exciting.
right.
So
Okay, see, 28.
we'll be there. Base Hits and Banter live from the
Oh,
Olympics.
we are the official partner of the Olympics.
That's
We're the
what we are.
naming. We have the naming rights. This is actually the
We're the,
Basics and Banter Olympic tournament.
yes, yeah. Sam and I actually paid for that. USA Softball did it. Sam and I
Yeah,
paid to be the presenting
out of our own
sponsor of the Olympics.
pockets. So anyway, yeah, just big stuff happening in the softball world.
So good.
I know there's probably a lot of conversations going on now that the team's been released of like, wow, did you see this? Like, see who made it? And I know I saw a lot of the players posting about it. Just it's such an honor to play for Team USA, Haley McClenny.
Yeah. No, it really is. It doesn't get old. Like, you know this. Like, it doesn't get old
It
putting on that
doesn't.
jersey. It's still like a pinch me moment every time that it happens. And
Yeah,
yeah, like name something
period.
cooler. I can't,
Hard to.
you know,
I,
especially in an Olympic quad. Like,
right. Yeah, right, right.
eh,
That's that's I think the thing that I reflect on the most in my time with Team USA is like there's always something to look forward to, right? Like you're playing, this is like the coolest opportunity ever. But actually having the Olympics to look forward to, like my time did not have the Olympics to look forward to. So
yeah,
adding that level of, how special that must be, like you said in this quad, it's just
yeah.
really,
No,
man, it's
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 wild.
exciting. I'm
Think about it.
excited.
Think about two of the conversations we had too about like at one point in our USA careers, we were just like, if we can just get it back to the Olympics, you know what I mean? Like, we're playing USA softball for the sake of playing USA softball when it was an Olympic sport, but we need to get it back. Then to do
Yep.
that, epic. And then
Ugh,
to see it come to life in 2020, well, to see it almost not come to life in 2020 was like low key really scary. And then to actually see it come to life in 2021 was cool. But now to have like knock on woods everywhere, a normal Olympic experience and a normal quad.
fingers
Just
crossed.
dope.
Dope.
Just dope.
Just dope. Just dope. We're gonna hit so many nukes.
So many nukes. These other countries don't know what's about to happen.
They don't. They don't know. I guess we can transition back to college softball from over the weekend, which we have currently right now UCLA and Michigan are finishing their series. UCLA is up 2-0 on the series. They won 5-3 and 4-3 in 8 innings in the second game. And right
Close
now it's
series, more competitive than a lot of people thought going into this.
yes, and from I do have an inside source over at the old in old Ann Arbor, and Chitty has said like they are right there. Yeah, go blue.
They are.
Is that
No,
what
they
they
are.
do?
I don't
They
know. That's what I
should.
do.
They should if that's not what they already do. But they have been right there, and they just need to close the door. So I have the live stats going. It was 5-5 in the fourth, but now it's 9-7 in the bottom of the fifth. But like it
Offense.
going back and forth, answering back like.
So
Yeah. Oh, I want them to win so bad.
yeah, no, we're big Go Blue fans here.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry to the
That
Bruins.
would
We
be
love
nice
you
for music
too, but
game. But like in really tough traditional conference rivalries, things just kind of happen and they don't go how you expect, you
it's
know?
truly not like that joke will not get old.
No, I say it every week, and all of our listeners are probably so sick of me saying it, but I still truly cannot fathom the
It,
fact.
it's this matchup that came to mind when with all the conference realignment and in like the conversations about where everybody was going to go. This was the one that stuck out because I'm thinking you're going to send kids from LA to Michigan to play like that
Same
we
weather.
same weather, same everything. But this has come up, this season. You and I having conversations on the old pod is like a 3 hour time difference to go and play
Yeah.
in the snow.
Yeah.
There's probably snow in Michigan. I don't know,
Right. Yeah.
but
No. And we've
it's
touched we've touched on the all coast conference too. In the ACC with
it's
Stanford playing at like Georgia Tech. What?
we got to figure this out. But yeah, got a good little battle going on there with the old Bruin Blue and the old Michigan Blue.
So
But
many blues. So many blues and yellow golds mixed in that
they're
series.
just yeah, it's like if you know the meme where it's like copy my you can copy my homework but make it look a little different.
Yes.
That's exactly what this
I thought
is.
you were about to go with the like, is it that stupid dress that was really popular like 10 years ago? Like, what color is this
What
dress?
color did you see?
I saw blue.
Okay, me too.
Okay, good. Okay, we're
I
normal.
I looked at it for so long. I'm like, how are people seeing white and gold? It's a blue and
Right.
black dress.
Correct.
Wow.
It came
Wow.
out, I think, too, that it was actually blue.
As it should, because
Yeah,
that's
that
the
was
color.
that was what was real.
Man, the things that we went through on the internet before the internet was really like consuming our lives.
That was
That
like over a decade ago, I think. I think I just aged myself
easily.
there by like, hey, you remember that meme? It's like, hey, do you remember this Vine?
Yeah. All right. R.I.P. Vine.
R.I.P.
Man,
Vine.
what a good
Vine
place
was
to be.
Vine was the best. We should bring
Vine
it
was
back.
The pipeline to the women's national team.
HPP has helped me find a new identity in like who I am as a player. It's helped show how hard work pays off, and it's really got me excited for the future of our game, the future for me, the future for my fellow athletes, and for what I strive to do in the future in college and then potentially with USA softball in the future.
my favorite thing is watching TikToks that are just Vine collaborations where it's like, here's just all the
Reincarnated Vine.
Vines. Yeah. I'm
Mhm.
like, what app am I on?
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you, what's funny is we've seen the last 2 weeks, the first place, the number one ranked team has lost their first game
Mhm.
directly after being named number one. We saw
Mhm.
it
Yeah,
last
it's
week with
true.
Texas A&M, and then this week we saw it with Tennessee dropping their first game to Ole Miss.
Cursed.
What is it? Do you think do you think there's something to it? Do you think there's something there? Or do you think it's just coincidence?
It depends.
Mm, mm, mm.
Because I think certain teams, not on purpose necessarily, but I think certain teams handle being ranked number one differently. Whereas like an OU or a Texas even, they're like, okay, like whatever, standard business as usual. Tennessee
Mhm.
hadn't held that spot for a very long time. Texas
Yeah, good
A&M
point.
had never held that spot.
Right.
So I think too in this era of social media and the internet, when everyone's talking about, oh my gosh, you're number one. Oh my gosh, you're number one. Like then you come out in your next game, you get punched in the mouth a little bit, and it's like, oh crap, we are number one. Why are we not playing like it? I think that's a
Mm,
very easy
mm,
mental trap to fall into. And
yeah.
players can say all they want. Like I know I would say this all the time, like in a media interview or something, like, oh yeah, I never think about that. You do.
How could you not? Yeah.
You think about it. It happens. I mean, you're trying not to think about it in the game, right? You're just trying to do your job and focus on what your one job is. But that
Yeah.
stuff can creep in.
Yeah.
And that energy I think is palpable in some cases as well. Um, but Tennessee's got some stuff to figure out offensively.
Yeah.
They are top 5 in the SEC in every single pitching category. Number 1 in a lot of them
Yeah.
because of our girl. 78-mile-an-hour Carlin.
Friend of the program.
Friend of the program. And a gem and a half of a human being.
We love her.
We love her so much. But offensively, they're in the bottom 5 of almost every major offensive category in the SEC. So you saw it happen in the Ole Miss game. She doesn't have command right away. It gets away from her in the second inning. She hits a batter. She walks the next one. And then it's like she can't really throw her off speed in that situation because it's first and second, nobody out. She's got to throw her hard stuff. Hitter's timed up for it. It's still got that down bite. So it's like it's a right-handed slap, basically, that the shortstop misplays. Run scores. She ends up giving up 3 earned runs in that inning. And Karen's like, okay, like, you're out. That's it. And we're just going to see if we can crawl back into this game offensively. That's how Karen's kind of been approaching it, which I don't necessarily disagree with. But what happens? Like, are we gonna do that in a regional? Or are we gonna do that in a super? If that happens, I'm super interested to follow that. And maybe we should get Aubrey Leach on to ask, because I think she's managed having an ace's ace so well.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of other coaches don't. They'll just ride them until literally the wheels fall off, and then June rolls around and they're in 20 different pieces.
Right. Yeah, right. Like looking at the big picture and the long term. And I think too, like this has been Tennessee's story all season long with the offense, where it's like, what offense are we going to get today? You know? And they you know, like they did score 6 and then 7 in their second and third games. But like I don't know. There's some offenses that have a hard time when they have to work out of a hole. You can't put your finger on it. You really can't. And you can't say, oh, here's why. It's just some teams like will not come back from a hole.
Right.
They will not. So.
And then you have Oklahoma, who's like, oh, you scored 4? We'll just come on and score 5.
We'll score 13.
They hit better when they're down. It's remarkable.
Yeah. You just wonder because like you see it happen. I can't put my finger on it.
No,
you just see it happening.
What is it?
I don't know, because like every time I would go in the box in past tense, I would just be like, like there's just nothing going on in there. That is just an empty pool.
Did you just start to sing Brooks and Dunn?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. Was that Save a Horse?
I think it was.
So that's what's going on in my head, apparently.
Period.
Every now and then it's like a Harry Potter scene. You know, where I'm like,
of all genres, you picked country music too. That's crazy on your part.
The way that I did not know what I was saying, and you brought it up. That's on you. You said Brooks and Dunn. That is so you went there.
That was so Alabama of me.
Yeah, that was pretty Bama of you.
Just so everyone on this podcast knows, I hate country music. Loathe it entirely.
You heard it here, folks. Don't play it for her.
Don't judge me.
Yes, and also don't judge. And while we're at it, I know the Bantees, our Bantees are wonderful people. So let's spread the message to the rest of the softball world that when Haley McClenny gives her opinion on national television, that we don't hammer her on the internet.
Thanks, guys. I do appreciate it.
We know our Bantees are supportive and they are not the ones that do that, but maybe we just spread the word.
Let's spread love.
Let's spread love.
Speaking of people who hate Halo, A&M lost the series to Arkansas this week.
Speaking of Halo's most recent haters, Arkansas.
In all honesty, I do love Texas A&M, and we have talked about how much we love Coach Ford.
We love
Coach Ford and Tori Vidalis, like friend of the program, friends. We have
Aggie friends all over the place, like all over.
We love the Aggies. Apparently, the Aggie fans don't enjoy Halo too much, and that's fine. Like they're entitled to their own opinion. But we do have to give Arkansas some credit here. Started 1-5 in SEC play, and have been 11-4 since.
So good.
And they've played Tennessee, A&M, Florida.
Oklahoma?
Florida.
Did they play Oklahoma?
They did play Oklahoma. They got swept by Oklahoma. That was one of the.
I was gonna say that was in the beginning. That was in the beginning.
Yeah, that was one of the 1-5s. But they won a road series at the time, number 2 Florida. Yeah, they won a road series at the time, number 2 Texas A&M. beat Tennessee in a series, which hardly anyone has done.
No.
So, give some credit to
Yeah,
the Woo Pigs.
definitely Woo Pig. Yeah, 7-5, 7-4. Good solid wins.
Big solid wins there.
Yeah, like, and we had
Super
Brie
regional
Ellis on
host?
last week.
Do you think
Did you say?
Arkansas is a super regional host?
I think there's a chance. Maybe let's see how this weekend goes. But we had Brie Ellis on last week. We got that Woo Pig energy going as they were preparing to Texas A&M. So you're welcome to Arkansas,
Yeah, no,
to the
you're
Razorbacks.
super welcome, Bree. Bree
Um,
also hit 2 home runs in game 2 of that series, so
what a monster. She is having
love
such a
Bree.
good season. You go.
We should also not forget to mention. Do you know who's hitting behind her?
Who?
Friend
Yes.
of the
Oh my.
program, Ella McDowell.
I think she just made like a finalist for freshman of. There was some.
As she should. The
Oh
SEC
my
has
God.
8 of the top 25 finalists for freshman of the year. That's insane.
I'm dead.
That's
I'm dead.
insane.
I'm looking.
So she's a freshman
That
hitting behind Brie Ellis. Before the game yesterday, so those are the last updated stats I looked at. Before the game on Sunday, she was leading the SEC in conference batting average. So in SEC play alone, leading the conference in batting average.
bro
Hitting I believe it was 439.
protecting Brie Ellis.
Protecting Brie fucking Ellis.
She hit a home run off of Emily Kennedy over the weekend. And she said, "See ya." Oh, our sweet
Yeah.
little Ella, friend of the
I
program.
know, what a freaking cute little human. She's great. I know
She was
Arkansas.
She was national. I think what I was thinking of, she was National Freshman of the Week a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
God, so awesome. I love that. And it makes me love softball and baseball so much because of how intricate it is. And like, how do you explain to like a volleyball player protecting someone in the lineup? Like, how do you explain that? But it's like
You can't.
such a thing. Like, it's so real.
No, that's a very real thing because if a lineup couldn't afford to protect someone, then you just walk that one person because you don't never want to let your best player beat you, right?
Right.
That person's job is to make that team pay for not wanting your best player to beat you. And
Right.
Ella has done
She's
wonders.
risen to the occasion.
Wonders.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
We love you, Ella McDowell.
Yeah, we do. Holding it down. And so much more college softball for her to play. Oh,
That's terrifying.
it is. It is. So let's see what else we got. We got Auburn with a series win over South Carolina.
Look, we got to talk about it.
Look, we can.
As much as it pains me,
It's okay.
the turnaround that Auburn has had in SEC play is very impressive.
Yeah.
Starting off 0-12. 0-12.
But
Okay.
I think we need a moment of silence.
Yeah, not great. And now I believe 7-5 in their last 12.
Yeah. I think
against good teams. South Carolina's a phenomenal team.
absolutely.
So doing really well. So kudos to the Malvos. Don't keep it up too much longer though. But
Yeah, let's not get crazy.
don't get crazy. But it is great. Alabama gets a sweep over Mizzou.
Love them. Go Roll
love it.
Tide.
Roll
You know
Tide.
what? Saw a lot of flashy plays in that series. Mizzou diving catch. Alabama just continuing. Gosh, their outfield just holding it down.
I am comfortable saying this as an Alabama alum. I think that's the fastest outfield in Alabama softball history.
That's such a big deal. From the mouth of Haley McClenny herself.
Look, it's 4 deep. It's 4 deep because Kristen White will come in and be that defensive specialist that she's been for eons. Audrey Vandegrift either is first in Division 1 or second in stolen bases.
She's superhuman.
She basically just rides a motorcycle around the bases. She scored from first base on a ball hit the center field this weekend.
She should be in jail.
Right. Jail. For
Should
speeding.
be illegal. For speeding and for thieving. Robbery.
Yeah. Reckless driving. It's insane.
It's driving.
but they're fast. They're really fun to watch. And they're coming together.
Yeah,
Pitching
I
staff
love the
looks a
trend.
lot better. Pitching staff looks a lot better.
Yeah,
So
it really like took them a minute. It took them a minute.
how okay, so how do you feel about this? Because I think in the era of transfers and NIL and all of this stuff, I think that well, it's definitely contributing to the parity, but I think it's contributing to like the late season surges that we're seeing too, because I don't know that just having a fall with someone as a new transfer is like enough. Like I think you need to be in the grind of the preseason and getting into conference play with your teammates to really figure out like what your identity is as a group. I think that only goes so far in the fall, you know?
I think you're super right, and I'm gonna tell you why, but also Megan Grant just hit a 2-run home run. So just she's cooking.
Jeff,
She cooking. So, sorry, Michigan, but man, are we a fan of Megan Grant?
we
We are.
freaking love Megan Grant.
Um, the other thing too, because I absolutely 100% am with you, like building that camaraderie, understanding each other more than just, hi, how are you? But think about like figuring out where a player goes in the lineup, figuring out where a player goes on defense, like those like that can't get figured out in the fall because you're mostly playing different competition, like you'll play some different teams than you are going to face in the preseason when the spring rolls around. But like there could be someone who you're like, is she my second baseman or is she my third baseman? Or like, is she in center field or is she a pinch runner? Like so much of that has to happen in the beginning. And that's such a good point. I think you're onto something. And I hope we see a trend back to people being at schools for 4 years. I don't think it's gonna happen.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, like, there's new NCAA legislation that's coming down with like the salary cap stuff, and
Yeah.
maybe that helps. Hopefully, we don't have a Tennessee football quarterback situation where an athlete holds out and then isn't asked back to the team. I don't think that would happen in softball,
I would hope
but
not. No.
there is something to be said for like, I mean, Coach Gasso talked about it when she was on with us. Like, yeah, we have a redshirt freshman captain, like
Yeah.
because they're the most familiar with the program.
Yeah, gosh, what a good example in Oklahoma this year where it's like they lost this big, huge class who was there for 4 years, like won 4 natties.
Right.
And yeah, it's interesting. Also, I just redid my hair and I think I made it look worse.
No, I think it looks better. I like this whatever that is.
You look like Jack from The Incredibles. So,
And Audrey Vandegrift is Dash, so there you go.
oh my gosh, roll tide. Yeah. No,
RTR.
I think
I do can I add a note on Auburn? Their
yeah.
RPI is 16.
Jeez.
So you want to talk about a turnaround. That's ahead of Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Georgia, Nebraska.
Wow.
It's ahead of a lot of really good teams. So
Wow. Um, should I ask you who's your player of the year?
oof.
Do you think we have I think we've got freshman of the year.
Who's your freshman of the year?
Did I freeze? Oh no. Okay, I'm back.
Who's your freshman of the year?
Taylor Shoemaker?
I think it's Taylor Shoemaker too.
Yeah.
I think we should
I
change your
think
name to Taylor Runmaker, but
yeah, I
she's got
think
70 RBIs.
unbelievable.
That's
I
literally
think
insane. So I'm with you. I'm with you on Taylor Shoemaker. My, I, I don't think Brie Ellis is the wrong pick for Player of the
yeah.
Year at this point.
Yeah. She's having
There
it
was a
freaking
big part of me that was like, can she sustain this? And then every time I watch her play, I'm like, oh yeah, nope, she can,
she's sustaining it.
100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't.
I
Who's your pitcher of the year?
That's the thing is I was literally out of my mouth was going to be like we just need to get to a time when we have a pitcher and a player of the year because it really should be two categories. I mean,
No, completely agree.
looking at someone like a Rachel Garcia or like a Lauren Hager who were just Kehlani Ricketts who were just phenomenal in the circle and phenomenal hitters, like they can be player of the year. Like but a PO, like if a PO I don't know. I just feel so strongly about it because like
We need a separate
there are
player.
two. There's two. There's a player of the year and then there's a pitcher of the year. And
So do you think it's Naja then? Do you think it like okay, make the argument to me either way then. Like since there is only one
right,
player of the year, are we gonna go with Naja over
like
Brie
a
Ellis,
two-way.
or are we gonna go with Carlin Pickens over Brie Ellis? Or are we gonna
Here's what is tough. And let me know if this is controversial. I can't stop looking at my hair. Now it looks like a croissant.
No, it's
Um,
great.
if Arkansas did not have Brie Ellis, what does their record look like? Versus if Texas Tech does not have Nija, what does their record look like?
Well, we know what Texas Tech would look like without Naja.
And that's why it's obviously hard to talk about a two-way player like a pitcher, like a Nija, like a pitcher and an impact hitter, or like
Right.
Jordy Ball, who's hitting like a million still,
Freaking
you
yeah,
know,
freaking
like,
Yordy Ball over there is crushing.
but there are hitters there are hitters and players. Like you look at what was it, a couple years ago? Who who am I thinking? Oh, maybe I'm thinking SEC player of the year, like a Jocelyn Erickson, right? Like behind the dish and with the bat, like that is
Right.
such an impact player, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Is it Pickens is as the pitcher?
It's hard. Like it's really hard. I don't know. I
I
think
I got it. Maybe I don't
I
have
think
an answer.
Carlin's had to face tougher lineups, no
Yeah,
question. And she's
yeah,
still right there stat for stat in terms of strength of schedule. I don't have like Texas Tech and Tennessee's like exact strength of schedule in front of me, but and
yeah.
that's going to sound like an SEC homer, but you can't make the argument to me that the Big 12 is as tough as the SEC week in and week out. You just can't do that.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
And look at
I don't
Carlin
think so.
Pickens also beat she beat Texas twice and OU twice. So
That's pretty impactful.
that's just decent. It's decent. But
It's
again, like it's a healthy debate, one worth having and really diving into.
At Higginbotham, we put people first. Our specialists are here to serve you, the people you care about, and your success. Insurance, HR, and financial services. Inspired by you.
yeah. I maybe yeah. Maybe we'll see what happens when after the conference tournaments happen.
I do think that how teams finish and how players finish, I think that stuff really, really matters in the eyes of the committee.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's a selection committee, but like the people that
Right.
name the award,
And
whatever.
you think about Nija last year going to the World Series with Stanford, is she gonna go again this year with Texas Tech? And
I,
man,
I don't know.
what's funny is working on the operations side of Athletes Unlimited and AUSL, we have to figure out who's going to be reporting on time, who's going to be reporting late. I know you and I have talked about like, hey, this is my best guess of like the teams that, as far as the rookies go and the coaches that like the players that we have who are coaches. And I'm trying to tell the internal team where I'm like, it could go any way.
It could go any which
don't-
ways. We have no idea.
There's like a couple of shoe-in, like that you're gonna see Oklahoma there and Texas there. But even then I'm like, yeah, exactly. Even then I'm like, you should. I don't know.
You should, right.
So
Alabama or Oklahoma should have beaten Alabama in a series.
We don't know what
Texas should have won at least one game against OU.
Should have. So here we are. Really, we have no clue. We don't know what's going on.
And we are here just bantering.
We really are. We're bantering. This has been a great chat. A great chat.
You want to do one last thing?
Yeah.
As we head into the final regular season weekend of the year?
Yeah.
Not knowing conference tournament seeds. I want you to name your Power 4 conference tournament champions as you see it right now.
Okay.
Big 10. Who wins that tournament?
Also, I love that you think that I can recall who the heck is in the Big Ten right now.
That's fair.
You know what?
It's Oregon. I think it's Oregon.
I was gonna say Oregon.
Yep. Okay. Ducks.
I was gonna say Oregon. Ducks.
I think it's Oregon.
I think I see Oregon. Okay. What's next?
Who wins the Big 12 tournament?
I don't think it's Oklahoma State. Is it Arizona?
I think it's Arizona. I do. I think it's Arizona only because they have two solid pitchers, whereas Tech would have to. Are they going to throw Nyjah every day?
Right.
No say.
The thought went into my mind was like, it depends on how Tech wants to use Nyjah. That's 100% what went through my head. Oh my God. Okay, so we're 2 for 2. Okay, who's next?
Okay, good. ACC. Don't forget Stanford and Cal are in the ACC.
Can't forget. I don't think it's going to be either of them if that helps. Oh God, I want it to be Duke. You think it's Florida State?
I think it's Florida
Yeah.
State. Duke.
Duke
could see it.
I mean, Duke did just. Did you see NC State upset Duke? We love Lindsay Leftwich, so that was exciting.
Yeah, big fan out there.
Yeah, they hit
Another
a grand
Wolfpack.
salami. Yeah,
Is that right? Oops,
I don't know. This
Sorry
reminds
to
me.
the
Have you seen the
defense
movie
people.
Soul? This reminds me of Quiet Coyotes. Like just
Yes.
Quiet Coyotes. Florida State. You know who could sneak? Virginia Tech.
They can mash, and Emma Lemley is very good at pitching the ball.
You know what? Like as a pitcher, she sure can pitch.
She's legit.
Yeah,
You gotta go
I
and
agree.
it for a reason. Her rise ball also, like, just on film, just watching the film alone, I've never stood in, would love to. It looks like it jumps like 3 feet.
And you know we will bite.
Oh yeah, 1000%. Also, it jumping 3 feet is like my entire body. So
That is fair. Yeah, you are small.
yeah. So I'd be like, oh, drop ball, and it's like over my head, you know?
Yeah, that's this.
Yeah,
this
I could
is,
definitely see Tech. I could also like weirdly seeing John Rittman like getting really hot with Clemson.
It'd be the right time. It would be the right time. As it stands now, I'm not feeling it. But as we're seeing, like you said, the trending.
They did just beat Tennessee.
Right. Yes, they did. They did.
So maybe? I don't know. I think Florida State is just like, I think they still own the ACC. I think they will for a very long time. And they've got a lot to play for with Lonnie,
Yeah.
you know,
Yep.
fighting the good fight. So
Yeah.
also, you want to talk about a fan base being mad at me if I didn't pick them.
No, you're right. That's a good point. Everybody, listen. She said Florida State. It's gonna be fine. And then so that leaves the SEC.
That does, which is the most difficult.
Yeah, I'm glad you saved that for last because is it Arkansas?
Is it a Woo Pig? I don't know either. Like, I also am like, who's gonna beat Oklahoma right now?
Right. That's
But then
all
you
about
have
how
then
they
you have
play it.
something like Odyssey Alexander with JMU comes out of nowhere and beats Oklahoma. Then you know what I mean. But like,
I know what you mean.
is it Arkansas?
Okay.
I will say Arkansas's pitching staff hasn't gotten a lot of attention because they're, well, number one, they have the best fielding percentage in the SEC.
Unbelievable.
So they play great defense, and we know how great their offense is, right?
Yep.
But their pitching staff is doing really well, and it's a triple-headed monster, I think, with Peyton Burnham, Reese Burline, and the ace, I think, is Robin Heron. But they complement each other really well, and so they have a lot of like really high-quality arms that they can, you know.
Yeah,
Can
you're so right too. Just because of the like the powerhouse that their offense has been this year. That like, of course, you missed the pitching conversation,
right? But they could win a game 6-5, just like
no
OU.
problem. No problem. Yeah. Oh, this was a fun little activity we did.
Fun exercise. Let's see how wrong we are.
You heard it here first, folks. We will own our mistakes. We will.
We will. We will.
You know who's still leading the nation in team batting average is Indiana.
You know
and
what?
It's 380 as a team.
Go Hoosiers.
Hoosiers.
And who's right behind them? Who's second on that list?
Florida State.
There you go.
359 team batting average. We got the next 3 are AC. Wait, no. North Carolina. Wait, is North Carolina in the ACC?
Yes, they are. Still confirmed.
Yeah, so God, I don't know anything.
That pick is confirmed.
Speaking of Kat Rodriguez, who we keep talking about, 82 RBIs. Hit her 82nd
what
RBI
an
this
animal.
Just a freak. Just
82?
a freak. 82. 82.
I don't think I had that my entire career.
When you're leading off, you know.
I still don't. I mean, that includes like home runs. Don't you get an RBI for yourself when you hit a home run?
You do. Yeah, you do.
Okay.
That's true. Damn.
I didn't do any of that.
That's okay. You had other things that's people like you had so many stolen bases. Like I had 6.
82.
You know? Yeah,
Wow.
82.
That's because
So yeah,
everyone kept doing the pitch outs because they thought you were gonna go, so then you couldn't.
they just kept like they were like, this girl's on base. Like we have to change our whole
We got
defensive plan.
we gotta shut
Yeah,
it down.
yeah. So
I get it.
win some, lose some. But in talking about Clemson, how you brought them up in the ACC, they are 5th in the nation for total runs scored. They've scored 387 runs in 53 games.
Me and my 6 chins are intrigued at that stat.
7.3 runs a game.
That's a
Whoa.
lot.
You know who's first? Wait, we did say Big Ten. We said Oregon, right? Ohio
Yeah.
State.
They can
400.
freaking those
They're
girly
they can
pops
mash.
can rake.
Do you think that they could? I mean, they could make a run for it in the tournament because they are scoring almost 8 runs per game. They passed Florida. And they are now ahead of Florida by 50 runs. 50 runs. On that note, folks, Halo's gonna go take a nap because her brain just exploded.
Holy buck, 50 runs ahead of Florida.
Yep. Yeah. Florida.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ba, 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 ba. That's crazy.
So
Okay, keep an eye out for the old Buckeyes, I guess.
you know
in
what?
the Pac-12 Big Ten thing situation that's going on.
I love a Buckeye. Nothing beats chocolate and peanut butter, dude.
Yeah, how do you argue that? Just
You
don't tell
can't.
Chitty. We won't tell Chitty you said that.
You know she'll smash a Buckeye. You know it. You know she would.
She couldn't turn it away.
Well, this has been a real pleasure. Thank you, Halo, for a great conversation. Thank you, Bantees, for listening to our conversation and for sticking with us. Period.
Yeah, period. And if you agree with us, tweet us. If you disagree with us, don't. So
Be kind.
Be kind. Choose love.
And you know what? We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Either way you're
and
listening,
you know
which helps us.
We'll see you next time. Same time, same place.
XOXO.
At this time, we would like to thank the USA Softball Store at usasoftballstore.com for our amazing gear this week. You guys can have the exact same gear that Samu and I have literally right now if you go to usasoftballstore.com. So go literally right now, and you can use code BHB15 right now and get 15% off your entire purchase. So buy a lot of stuff, get that 15%, let it all go to use. usasoftballstore.com. Again, that code is BHB15.